Hi, my name is Aaditya Pai, and I'm from SP Robotics Maker Lab, Andheri in Mumbai. And I just completed my IoT course for making my own personal assistant. For my personal project, I have decided to create a security feature where if in the case of an intruder, the assistant blinks with red lights and says intruder. And when you come back home, you can ask the assistant if there was an intruder at home. And in that case, the assistant would respond with yes or no. And I also added a feature where you could ask the personal assistant about world news, about politics, sports, weather, Mumbai, personal climate news, and in which the assistant would give detailed news reports about current news topics. I've also added a feature where you can connect the personal assistant to the fan, in which in your voice command you could switch on and switch off the fan and also blink the LED lights at the same time. I have, as my main feature, I have made my assistant move. I've made it mobile, and this actually adds a whole different level to my whole assistant because currently there is no moving robot, there is no moving assistant. So that's my main feature. So firstly, I'll be demonstrating the security alarm system. There's basically an IR sensor, and if some object or some person moves in front of this IR sensor, the assistant will start to blink saying intruder. And if, per se, you're away from home, and there's an intruder that came in, and you don't hear this alarm because you're away from home, you can come back home, ask for a personalized report, and this assistant will generate a random message if the alarm has been triggered, or if not. I did this through counts, so it does not keep repeating the same message again and again. So now I'll be demonstrating this.
Intruder. Intruder. Intruder.
So now if I ask the assistant for my report, give me the report.
The alarm has been triggered.
So another main feature of my IoT assistant is that I've made it news enabled. I've used the Google API news and made my assistant give news on request. So for this feature, I've imported PPRINT, request, and JSON. And on request, I can make my assistant provide me with the news on different topics. So I will demonstrate one of these topics, and I would choose about space. So if you're interested about space, I can ask my assistant to give me news about space. Tell me about space.
Space photos of the week. Strap on your space goggles and bask in the starlight. In-space shuttle service, momentous, raises $25.5 million as investments climb for new space tech. How NASA keeps its astronauts safe and sane in space. Space photos of the week. Chaotic, gassy Mars. Watch 5,000 rockets attempt a world record simultaneous launch to celebrate Apollo 11. With Chandrayaan-2 launch, India's ISRO shoots for the moon on a shoestring budget. NASA needs to out crazy Elon Musk.
So,
what else would you like to learn about?
So as you can see, this was just one of the many topics that I've added for my IoT assistant. Some of the other topics include general news, temperature, additional detailed news, which I'll demonstrate soon, news about Mumbai or local news, climate news, and business related or politics related. And I've also added cooking or food feature for those interested in food. Yeah. Give me detailed news.
Jeffrey Katzenberg's Kiwi partners with NBC News for a daily news show aimed at millennials. How to stop your parents from sharing fake news online. Understand breaking news from multiple political perspectives using all sides. Mozilla readies launch of news subscription service. Star Wars news. Rise of Skywalker reshoots are happening, apparently. SpaceX's Starship rocket test, Equifax OSU, and more news. The good news, the job market is solid. The bad news, the job market is solid. What else would you like to learn about?
So I believe that one of the main limitations of this feature is that the news just keeps going. There's no actual way to stop it from going once that it starts. And as you can see, each of these news texts gives at least 5 to 7 headlines, and these update every single day. So the second limitation that I found out was during the actual course of my project. I realized that in my IoT portal, the text-to-speech converter had actually finished. I had exceeded 10,000 characters, and this was mainly due to the fact that my assistant had to say the news, the headlines, and we had to actually add another 10K in order for my assistant to start speaking. So this is one of the smaller features that I actually added, but it has wide-scale application at the home. I have made my assistant switch on the fan on command, and this can be actually used in the house when you want to switch on an actual fan. So I'm now going to demonstrate this feature. Switch on the fan. Now as you can see, the fan is switched on and the lights are on, just for the user to know that the fan is working, the motor is working.
Intruder. Intruder.
The IR sensor switched on by accident. So now I'm going to switch off the fan. Switch off the fan. So one of the main features of my IoT assistant is that it can move. So when I press the button B1, it actually listens to my voice and converts that text into speech and moves for 3 seconds in the forward direction. And when I ask it to go back, it comes behind. So the main application of this feature is that you can actually place something on the assistant itself, and it can go in front or come back and actually deliver that item to someone in the house, or say like a butler's kind of service. And I think the main limitation of this feature is that you always have to keep the screen open to see if your voice actually converted into the message that the assistant needs to listen to in order to move. And I believe that the second problem with this is that it always has to be connected to a power outlet, which prevents it from moving too large a distance away from the actual power source. So this is how it works. Move in front. Come back.
Sorry, I was not able to process the audio.
Come back. So overall, I believe that throughout the course of this project, actually coding and programming my IoT assistant has actually opened me up to engineering, because next year I will be starting computer engineering in the university. And I believe that the features that I've added are quite difficult to code, and it gave me kind of a challenge to reach those goals and see what I could do on my own. So I believe that these features that I've added have wide-scale application in the modern home, and that I enjoyed more than anything working on Python. Thank you for watching.